Hello, my friends. Welcome to Weekly Strides, your Wednesday update post where I will be answering one of your questions that you have either emailed to me, that has been asked in Running for Real Superstars, that has been asked on various other places that you have wondered. I decided to take your questions and begin to answer them so that you could have my real, raw, rambling answer rather than, most places that we go, it tends to be a very sterile, very factual, but there's just not really any emotion in it. So this is my way of allowing you to submit your questions, get a real answer to it. Future episodes of Weekly Strides, we will be featuring listeners. So if you want to be considered for that, please let us know. And we will also be bringing on previous guests to check in with how they are. If you have a question you would like to submit, you can email kat@runningforreal.com. That's KAT@runningforreal.com. And I look forward to answering your questions soon. Let's get to it. What steps should I take if I think I have an injury, and how can I prevent re-injuring myself? This is a difficult one without knowing what the injury is and what your definition of the injury is. During my training, I would have many instances where I would have a pain, some kind of pain. I would spiral into a world of panic that my season was done, that I would never run again, just going crazy with my runaway fears. And then a few days later, the pain would miraculously have disappeared. There are other pains, though, that we've been dealing with for a while. Is this progressed slowly from a discomfort to a little pain to a good amount to suddenly too much to bear, in which case you're probably going to be in a different situation. The best advice I think I have is that if something hurts all of a sudden while running and it's enough to make you limp or change your running form at all, or hurts the rest of the day after running, take 3 days off immediately. It can be hard in that 3 days. Trust me, I know. And you'll wonder if you're wasting your fitness when it could maybe go away on its own. You might get tempted to test it out. We had to have no idea how I have that guess. Maybe did a lot of that myself. But in my experience, it is always better to play it cautious than to add that extra 3 days of impact that makes it worse. If it feels better after a day, resist the urge to jump back in. Stick with that 3 days. And if it hurts beyond the 3 days, go see a medical professional. Resist as much as you possibly can the urge to ask Dr. Google, as it will tell you 736 different injuries, depending on which dark hole you end up down. If seeing a physiotherapist, physical trainer, or athletic trainer, or a chiropractor is not possible for you, go see your general practitioner to get advice from them. As for how to prevent re-injury, injuries are just part of our running life. That's a reality. However, if you can give yourself the best opportunity to avoid it by first listening to that little voice in your head that says, maybe I should stop, or I'm really tired today, or something doesn't feel right. We've been trained to push through that voice and listen to the critical one that tells us we're lazy or we're a failure if we don't get it done. Most of our injuries are because of overdoing it, with the combination of stresses that we have in our life. The second thing I would add is to go find a strength coach to find out where your weaknesses are, especially if the one especially to figure out what has led to this injury if it is a bigger thing for you. Even if you have pain in your foot, the issue is not actually necessarily in your foot or in your leg. It could be overcompensation from your hips, your glutes, or even your back. A good strength coach will be able to look at the body as a whole and figure it out. I have put a link in the show notes to some experts that I recommend around the country and a few around the world who I would recommend if you are anywhere near them. But beyond that, just asking around the local running groups and the running stores, they may have a good suggestion for you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Weekly Strides. I appreciate you sending in your questions. I hope you enjoyed that answer. We will have another one of these next Wednesday. Be sure to check out regular episodes of the podcast on Friday and Together Runs on Monday. I'll see you then.